I'm an American. I pay $1,600 for a flat that has no bedroom. That's 2/3 of my income. I'm an American. I work 50 hours a week. I don't have health insurance. I'm an American. I couldn't afford to have a child even if I wanted to. I'm $7,000 in debt. I'm an American. My health is declining because I can't afford Whole Foods because that's too expensive for my life. I am very overqualified for my job, but no one else is hiring. I'm an American. I make my boss hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, while I can barely keep myself alive. I'm an American. I have never been out of the States. I have never been on a vacation. I'm an American. I make $20-some an hour. A livable wage here is like 30-some. Yet I don't qualify for government assistance whatsoever. On the days I don't work, I'm so tired I just sleep all day. I'm an American. My electric bill is so expensive I sit outside in the heat because I can't afford to turn the AC on in the damn house. I'm an American, and I fear I'm just an average American. I'm living the American dream.
In the United States today, many families are navigating a challenging economic landscape. Rising costs, from groceries to housing, are stretching budgets thin.
$6.15 for a half a pound of Greek hot sweet peppers. What the hell? Is this what you voted for? The highest food cost I've ever seen in my entire life? $9 for some damn pizza sauce. $10 for a small pack of Starbucks coffee. Oh my God. Got a dang sweet treat for the dog. $20. Sweet treat for the dog. Sorry. $20. I guess you're gonna have to just find me stinking. Cause look at that. Clearance, $8.39. I'm telling you right now, we're going to be paying $100,000 for a loaf of bread before this administration is over. The same administration that told us that on day one energy prices would come down, that the war in the Ukraine would be over, that the price of gas and food and it's all going to be a miracle. And if you go on their Instagram page right now, they're telling you it is a miracle. Only we can see, our wallets know.
$17.49 for one can of coffee in America. This used to be $11.99 a month and a half ago.
Recent polling shows half of U.S. adults cite grocery prices as a major source of stress, with the anxiety especially acute among lower-income households, women, and Hispanic adults. At the same time, housing remains a heavy burden. Nearly half of renters spend more than 30% of their income on rent, and around 23% are severely cost-burdened.
If someone lives in Texas, if they are working full-time, making minimum wage, that's $7.25 an hour. A one-bedroom in Texas, fair market rate is about $1,293. Guess how much they would have to work in order to afford a one-bedroom apartment? $137. Have you heard the term cost burden? That means that someone is paying more than 30% of their income on housing and utilities.
Financial fragility is widespread. Only 46% of Americans have enough emergency savings to cover 3 months of expenses, while 24% have none at all. Nearly half of adults say they couldn't manage an unexpected $500 bill without borrowing. Retirees are also feeling the squeeze. A significant share are cutting back on essentials such as groceries and medical care, as Social Security benefits struggle to keep pace with inflation. Nearly 1 in 2 older adults report having no retirement savings, or being underprepared for the cost of long-term care.
50% of Americans over 55 have zero saved for retirement. Are you one of them? This isn't just a statistic, it's a reality. Millions of hardworking people are nearing retirement with nothing saved for retirement, forcing them to rely on Social Security alone. And the truth is, that is not even enough to cover the basic living expenses. With inflation skyrocketing and healthcare costs rising, many retirees are running out of money faster than they expected. Some are going back to work, some are cutting back, and some are downsizing just to survive. If you're not actively planning for retirement, now is the time to start. The earlier you take action, the more secure your future will be. Even small changes today can make a massive difference down the road.
There's about 57 million people that are age 65 and older, and almost half do not have enough money to retire. And many are thinking about working past 65 to 70, 75, or really until the day that they die. And unfortunately, the over 50 crowd in the United States is the largest growing population of homeless people. Okay, so what's going on? People just are not saving enough. Many of us, the boomers and the Gen Xers, grew up in a different generation. And it was a generation where if you save 10% a year, which unfortunately not enough Americans are, but even if you're saving that 10% a year, you know what? If you do the math, it's probably not going to be enough. And it's not going to be enough because in our parents' generation, many of our parents and their friends had pensions. We don't have a pension, and we have Social Security, but it might look different than what it looks today. Now, I'm not an alarmist. I do think we will figure it out.
Structural pressures continue to challenge households. 9 in 10 Americans express concern about the cost of living, including food, housing, and inflation. Economic inequality and the middle class squeeze, where wages lag behind rising expenses.
Everybody wake up! It's time to stand up!
This is the first month I won't be able to afford rent. I'm not a rich person. I don't have a lot of stuff. I have basic household necessities, a couch, a bed, washer, a dryer. That's about it. A car. I don't have a lot of lavish things. I don't go on vacations and I don't spend a lot. Rent's increased from the food prices are too high. I've cut back on eating because I literally cannot afford food.
$17.33. That's how much I paid today for this coffee. I'm here and I'm just adding some numbers together and doing my budget because you know what? Today I asked my husband, where's the money? We're making the best we've ever made. Both earners, both incomes, good incomes and everything. And we don't have money. We're living paycheck to paycheck basically. So I put the numbers together and I decided to look at my budget. On June the 2nd, 2023, and I'm going to try to insert somewhere here the photo I took a shot of, how much I paid for it. On June the 2nd, 2023, the same exact coffee was $9.92. It's almost doubled in 2 years. Of course, my salary hasn't doubled. My income has not doubled. It went up a little bit, but certainly nowhere near that. And I don't know where my money goes. Every month, I'm struggling.
The strain on families with children is especially pronounced. Child poverty has increased, leaving nearly 10 million children living in poverty. For some working families, modest income increases can even reduce access to government aid.
There are 37 million people inside the United States living below the poverty line. There are 11 million children, American children, who go to bed hungry every night. Now, what's wrong with this picture? We want to send billions and hundreds of billions to Ukraine to fight a war that makes no sense against a people that are not the enemy of the American people, or for that matter, in my judgment, Europe. We should be interested in peace, not shipping hundreds of billions of dollars overseas.
There are around 74 million children in the USA. Around 11 million of those live in poverty. A good chunk of them have parents with jobs or are completely qualified for jobs. And a hill that I will die on, that you can fight me on this, is that it's not actually my family's fault that we don't have health insurance.
I don't think many of you understand how even if you have privatized healthcare, you are going to be adversely affected by taking Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act from the poor and rural communities specifically. Why, you ask? Because they are going to go to the hospital. The hospital's for emergency medicine, but they are going to be showing up trying to get prescriptions, blood thinners, dialysis, type 1 diabetes medication, basic routine care that they could have accessed at their primary care doctor prior, but now they can't. And these are life-saving medications. So what are they going to do? They're going to flood the hospital. That's what anyone who needs help would do. The hospital can't turn them away, and it's not a hotel, so they can't just say, get out of here. They have to treat them, which means hospitals are going to be overrun with not emergencies, but regular routine care. So when your grandma has a heart attack, there won't be beds. When your son breaks his arm, you are going to have to wait even longer while people access basic care that they had prior to this. That's why we did it. We did it because we knew we needed the emergency room to be for emergencies, and we wanted people to access affordable care where they are. I don't understand how you guys don't connect the invisible strings here. People are going to die. That's the final thing. And then once the hospital's workload becomes outrageous, nurses and doctors will leave. They are leaving. They're being poached. So when we say you're voting against yourself, that's what we mean. You have privatized healthcare? Awesome. I'm glad for you. But you are going to be adversely affected by the fact that rural and poor communities are losing their healthcare. And the fact that you don't see that tells me that you are not thinking critically. You have to open your eyes and recognize that the only people that won't be affected are the rich. Period.
To cope, households are adjusting spending habits. Many are cutting discretionary spending, shifting to cheaper brands, and cooking at home.
These grocery prices in rural Washington.
To all the other countries that wonder and say that Americans are just fat and lazy and they don't do anything to better themselves, this is what $115 gets you. Let me show you. We were able to get some Ritz crackers, one thing of cereal, some ramen, more ramen, tuna, bag of potatoes, a few avocados, some snacks, desserts, 2 bags of chips, ice creams, pizza rolls, some sausage biscuits, one thing of Dr. Pepper. All of this for $115. We're not making it. This is going to feed my kids for less than a week. And this doesn't include any dinners. There are no dinners here. This is lunch and snacks. I don't know how people are making it. It's hard out there.
Are you ready? All right. I'm sure that we have all experienced someone telling us when we talk about how bad it is here in America to go and see what the standard of living is in China. Well, we took your advice. But I can guarantee this was not the outcome they were expecting. Did you know in China that 95% of their population own their homes? Did you know in China that they have almost completely eradicated homelessness? It is 0.18% if you want to be exact. Did you know in China that there are no credit checks or credit scores? Did you know in China that law school is under $800 a year? Did you know that the people in China thought it was made up that the children here in the United States, well, the ones that can afford it, need to purchase a bulletproof book bag? Did you know that the people in China think that it's so wild that us Americans feel like we are truly free because we have the right to have opinions, but we don't have the right to make any choices? Do you know that TikTok is banned in China? And if you let our government explain it, it's because China's a communist country and they want to control what you see and what you say. So America is following the footsteps of a communist country, but it's not against our First Amendment rights taking it away. Got it. You see, they like to demonize socialism and communism because it does not benefit the elite. Our government is saying that it's constitutional what they're doing here with TikTok. Do you want to know what else is constitutional? The right to protest our government. The Declaration of Independence states that Americans have the right to replace their government. We have a right to change or abolish a government that is destructive to our rights. Biden gets on TV and warns us that an oligarchy is forming. My friends, we are already in an oligarchy. The rich and elite already control everything. These are all things that we already know, but things like, oh, I don't know, TikTok put it into a visual perspective. America has quite literally gaslit us when it comes to everything. We are aware, and they do not want that. Our American government thinks that we are all stupid. Pretty much everything is public access. You just need to go look for it. Have you seen how many politicians have bought stock in Meta since this TikTok ban has started? Wild. Did you know that between Zuckerberg, Bezos, and Musk, just those three men, that their net worth is almost $1 trillion? But we have over 40,000 veterans homeless on the street. Collectively, there are almost 700,000 homeless people in the United States. And did you know that there are almost 16 million vacant homes in the United States? Did you also know that over 50% of Americans are just one missed paycheck away from being on the streets? Did you know that they don't pay property taxes in China? So if they own their home and just so happen to lose their job, that is still their home until the day they die. Do you remember when I said that the American government likes to gaslight us? Yeah, they have gaslit us to actually thinking that we own our shit, but the reality of it is we lease that shit. So in America, if your home is paid in full and you just so happen to lose your job and you can't pay your property taxes, guess what? They will take your home. The point of my video is this, and I'm going to quote my friend Thorin. Right now, none of us need to be Republican or Democrat. Right now, we all need to be Americans. Knowledge is power, my friends, and division is a tool of the empire. Understand the power that we, the people, hold.
I was thinking about this. We are the richest country on the planet, one of the richest countries. Why does it look like ass? Like, really think about that for a second. Like, when you're driving, if you're not in, like, Florida or California or the coast of, like, Oregon or whatever, it's like, this place looks like shit. And we have so much money. Like, I'm thinking of, like, Europe and Japan and all the architecture, like, across the world and how beautiful it looks. Why don't we have, like, rose gold fucking buildings and, like, why does the Kmart's and, like, all of the stores look like shit? Like, I don't know. I'm just thinking in my head, I'm closing my eyes and I can imagine, like, like, look at China. Like, Shanghai, like, the coast, like, all those videos you see. That's, like, no joke, stunning, beautiful, high tech. You would think America would look like that with the amount of money that we have. But it just looks like, ugh, you know what I mean?
As America faces these overlapping economic pressures, communities and policymakers are challenged to build resilience, support vulnerable groups, and ensure that progress toward stability benefits all Americans.